Good afternoon. I open the public hearing at 1 p.m. I appoint Victoria Adams to record the minutes of the hearing. On April 10th, 2023, a public hearing notice was published in the legal section of the Times Telegram, as well as posted on the agency website. The agency also provided a copy to the CEO of all affected taxing jurisdictions. The following is the published notice. Notice is hereby given that a public hearing will be held by Herkimer County Industrial Development Agency, the agency, on the 20th day of April 2023 at 1 p.m. local time at the office of the agency located at 420 East German Street, Suite 101A in the village and town of Herkimer, Herkimer County, New York, in connection with the following matter. The agency is considering a proposed amendment to its uniform tax exemption policy, the UTEP, in connection with the undertaking of certain proposed renewable energy projects. The proposed amendment. A copy of the proposed amendment is available on the agency's website at www.countyida.org. In connection with the consideration of the proposed amendment, the agency is soliciting comments with respect to such proposed amendment. The agency will, at said time and place, hear all persons with the views of the proposed amendment. Copies of the UTEP are available for public inspection during business hours at the offices of the agency and on the agency's website. Copies of the proposed amendment will also be made available at the public hearing. Additional information can be obtained from and written comments may be addressed to John J. Cusick Jr., Chief Executive Officer, Herkimer County Industrial Development Agency, 420 East German Street, Suite 101A, Herkimer, New York, 12350. Telephone 315-866-3000. Any person wishing to make a comment is invited to do so at this time.
John Armstrong, Water Planning Board. I found the proposal amendment document difficult to read through and follow easily. I tried to make up basically a block chart of commercial utility solar within, that could put the appropriate information in each of those blocks. And I found it very difficult to do that as it relates to the document. So it's really not related too well to the other documents that I received as part of the packet. I'm not sure. When you get emails, you get pieces of documents from all over the place. So I don't know what was, in the original document. I have lots of questions on, the whole process, but that's not relevant to what you're discussing.
I'll agree with Glenn. This
State name, address, or location.
Nathan Seaman, Town of Columbia resident. I agree with Glenn. I did think it was hard to process. I went through it a couple of times. Just maybe the way it's written could be done in a more easily readable manner. I do have questions about the process as well. I don't know if this is the time to ask some of them or not.
We can gladly put them into the record for you if you want to ask those questions.
Sure.
Right now, it's not debate or
Right.
type of hearing, and we're happy to take those in, or you could submit anything you would like in writing as well, whatever easier for you.
Sure.
And we can go from there.
How long will your public comment period be for?
For today,
Well, usually open a public comment section, you have comments here, but then you have a window of time.
yeah, I think that would have been in the announcement.
I'm sorry if I just.
We will be approving the resolution at our next board meeting, which is scheduled for May 30th.
So you do have time.
Okay, so I'll just tell that at the time.
So there's another month to digest, ask questions independent of this and come back with written.
You are more than welcome to, if you don't have my card, I'll make sure to email me questions and no problem with doing that whatsoever. Or our attorney will reply.
We find the level of understanding in the community, anything about any of these projects is all over the place. There's more rumor than there is absolute information out there. And trying to find out what we're really dealing with is a challenge.
I'm Ed Reed from the Town of Columbia. I'm the Deputy Town Supervisor and responsible to interact on all matters regarding solar at this point. I had a letter sent from our attorney, Ben Wisniewski, which I know that you have, just to highlight a couple of things, and probably before that, I should preface that it is our understanding at this point that the majority of the Town of Columbia is opposed to large scale solar coming in, and we have a particular project of 350 megawatts that's supposed to come in. And I also understand that the county doesn't have the ability to stop it or grant permission or anything any more than the town does. This is a state venture. What I would say is that whereas the IDA has the power to negotiate pilot agreements and that, understanding the local community and their desire for the project should weigh into your practice of negotiation with regards to pilot, as in some communities may be open towards it, desiring to come in, and others, because of their way of life or the magnitude, may be opposed to it. So considering that, and having the language in there for an invitation to the town to be involved in it, which I know you verbally expressed that to me in the past, but having that involved in there would also be encouraged. And the language, one of the things I want to highlight that our attorney did mention was the language with regards to host community agreements and a requirement for the companies to enter into a host agreement. Right now, it feels as though they have to make an attempt, but if they come back and say, we tried, they didn't agree to our terms, you can just move forward without it. So having that stronger to be forced to have interaction with the town and say, hey, did they really try? What was the breakdown? Because was it a real effort or not? And it allows you to, to kind of otherwise they can sidestep the process by simply saying, we made an effort, they didn't accept it and move on. So having that language, I think, I think that was probably the main thing. Otherwise, everything else that's in the letter, like the board to consider before they adopt the final draft.
Keep it open for a little bit more time that we can stop it. Unless you have any other questions for the record. Not for the record. Right. I adjourn the public hearing at 1:32 p.m.